Hello, Professor Ramakrishna here. Basically, we are discussing on the topic that is city creation. City creation, basically, we are discussing on the topic that is future creation. In future creation, basically, we are talking about this sequence, basically. So, one of the person told that basically, why basically you are telling that basically nobody can track this land, basically. That is this land area. Because reason behind this land area is connected with totally different satellites only, basically. I will take one example, basically. Each house basically contains the computer basically. So one of the person told that yes, basically it can be contained. I will take one simple example. Assume that basically somebody is sitting in the computer and somebody attacked his head basically from the computer. So who can basically track basically this? One basically software company basically. They basically gets the power supply. According to that basically if they have created the log of the each and every incident basically which is happening in the computer basically, then they can track basically. Otherwise they can't basically track. And this basically is log file is not getting maintained by the operating system basically because they don't have the authority basically to maintain. But they in future basically you have to maintain basically. Reason, everything should be clear basically from where basically things are basically happening. So this is one thing basically. So here one of the person told that power company is giving the data to the software company. So power company gives the data. According to that only basically his body basically was damaged, head basically was damaged. Assume that. So from power company basically they can track. If power company is not able to track, then basically the nuclear power company basically can track this. If nuclear power company is also telling that basically we can't track it basically, then basically the seawater basically group basically can track. Who basically say that in this area basically in Mumbai basically there is one 15-kilometer area basically their sea water basically is containing this whole data basically. Up to that level the technology has reached, but digital world basically has not reached. That is the IT industry basically has not reached up to that level basically, which the currently basically whatever the TCS is there, Infosys groups are there basically, they also basically have to jump into it basically. Reason, data science project basically in future basically the data science is only basically going to exist basically. Data science is going to. So seawater group told that basically sorry we can't also basically track basically from where these things basically has happened. So seawater basically is controlled by the satellite group basically. So satellite group basically is telling that sorry basically we are also not able to track basically from where basically he got head damage basically. So satellite group told that basically some planets basically might have given some data basically to him, but by mistake basically his head basically might have damaged, or basically intentionally his head basically might have damaged. For example, that person basically might have done some bad with that particular group basically, who basically is who the group who actually damaged, sorry the person basically whose head was damaged, he actually might have harmed to certain group basically who basically is connected with the set of planets basically. So set of that planets basically who send the data na, they basically loves this group basically. Due to that basically this person's head basically was damaged. So planets group told that basically sorry we have not attached basically, we have not attacked to particular person. Each and every planet is basically connected with the earth planet basically, they told that basically. Then basically they told that basically planets groups are basically controlled by the satellites group basically. Planets groups are basically controlled by the satellite group basically. So here basically we will take one example how basically up to what level things basically are reaching. This is dot basically, that is the entire creation basically moving, and this is basically controlled by one satellite groups also basically you can say. So you can just imagine basically. You can just imagine basically the creation which is already done. So satellite groups started basically tracking basically that which was that area basically who actually attacked that person's head basically. So they basically starting tracking this, that, basically each and everything basically they track. And then basically they track that basically one of the current generation basically which is ongoing basically. Current generation, for example, uh, my friends basically got marriage, right? Sunil Arnar basically not got marriage. So as just taking as an example, what actually the current generation is. They basically started generation. They basically had two kids, girls, boys, like this basically each and every family basically they have started. So that next generation which is ongoing basically, that data basically damaged Sunilar Nair's head. So that was the future creation basically, which group basically they actually attacked Sunilar Nair's head basically. So like this basically the satellite group given the report that basically the future generation basically which is going to create it basically, that is the Sunilar, because attack basically has happened from the Sunilar Nair group, one of the person only, one of the person's group basically. So they told that basically the next generation basically which is ongoing basically, they have attacked Sunilar Nair's, their energy basically has attacked Sunilar Nair basically, so that in future basically Sunilar Nair basically will not exist basically. Up to that level basically the attack was basically. Here basically I am taking my example that basically my head basically was damaged, and somebody basically tracks, and this basically converted into one project basically. Here basically I am just taking my example. In real basically it can be anybody's head basically, anybody's head basically. So it might possible one of, I am basically normal person basically, but it might possible some big person basically head will damage basically. Then basically how he is going to track basically, how he is going to track. So this is the system basically. So he told that basically the future creation basically which has going to happen basically, they basically damaged Sunilar Nair's head basically. They don't want to keep a relationship with Sunilar Nair. So due to that not relationship, because universe group basically have to do each and every blood cells demand basically. So here basically one of the person told that the future basically which Sunilar Nair friends, the people who know Sunilar Nair, their future basically, their future generation basically, they told that basically we don't want Sunilar Nair basically. And few people so that basically we have ended his generation also. Up to that level basically few people also basically told that. So just see basically up to what level things are basically connected and everything is basically there. So see the Bangalore basically city total basically, and see the Mumbai city house also basically total, and see the house total of the Ahmedabad city. That also you see basically. So one of the person told that basically, one of that also you see basically. So like this basically the future group basically told that basically we don't want Sunilar Nair in future creation basically. So you can just imagine basically the, and like this basically if they are telling that basically they don't want Sunilar Nair basically, so up to level basically things are going to damage basically. So they basically damaged head, then basically they will damage a heart, they will damage eye, they will damage stomach, they will damage basically hand, they will damage leg also, because future creation basically, and the future creation are basically handled by whom basically, that is the nuclear power company, sea water, satellite group, planets group, and the satellite group. Up to that level basically things are, see this basically, up to this level the chain is connected. So you can just imagine basically the future creation basically, and up to what level basically the things are basically connecting basically, that also you see basically. And this everything is done basically. Now basically you can't do anything basically. Reason everything is done. Now basically things are like this basically. Total house basically in Mumbai city, and the house what is basically what is that basically we already discussed. Bangalore city total house basically you see, and here house basically that means basically we have calculated only basically what actually the house calculation is, and see the Mumbai. Like this basically each and every city in the India basically is having this number basically. That basically only government basically groups can do, and government groups are telling that basically we are basically connected with this area also, that is this area. So you can just imagine basically that is basically the parliament house basically who are sitting there basically, they are telling that basically we have reached to this area also. So that is possible basically. One of the person basically asked the question, that is possible. So next video basically we are going to see that basically the how basically the groups are connected with each other.